What's up, you guys? Sean Ross Sapp, Fightful here with the name you know. We got Austin Theory as we film this big WrestleMania match against Pat McAfee. You've had quite the past year.
Yeah, just within the past 6 months, going from being on the winning team at Survivor Series to the Royal Rumble lasting over 20 minutes, going all the way to Saudi Arabia for the Elimination Chamber and surviving with Brock Lesnar, and then main eventing MSG with Brock Lesnar. And then, like you said, now we're here. Unfortunately, my WrestleMania match is against a guy named Patrick McAfee. I had somebody today, they're like, his name's Patrick, right? I'm like, oh, this guy. It's just awful.
You mentioned the MSG main event against Brock. That day, backstage people were like very secretive about things. I was poking around. I was trying to find out stuff. There was a lot of stuff, like a lot of murmurs going around. How far ahead did you find out you were facing Brock Lesnar at MSG?
Probably an hour before.
Really?
Yeah. We had the card in the back, and it just said Brock versus nothing. It was just
question mark.
It was just nothing there. And then I was like, wow, this is just a theory, isn't it?
I had somebody say, like, I think it might be Austin. And I was like, Steve Austin? They're like, Austin Theory. How much are you getting that this week?
Really? Yeah, not as much. Maybe because I haven't been hearing it, or I haven't been around enough people. But I haven't heard it too much. But that's an awesome comparison to me.
So you've been working a lot with Vince McMahon.
Yes.
How has that been? I mean, he doesn't appear on screen nearly as much these days, and I get the feeling that if he does, it's with somebody that he thinks an awful lot of.
Yeah, it's definitely an experience of its own, just because the work ethic he has and the passion and just, everything that he puts into this. So for me, it's like going in there, it's like, you got to be on your best and give it everything that you got. And, it's just an honor to be in there. I mean, we all know Mr. McMahon's on the top of that Mount Rushmore for sports entertainment.
Yeah. You had a bit of a run on Raw a couple years ago when the pandemic started.
Yep.
How did you feel when you were brought up? I mean, that was pretty abruptly, pretty quickly.
Yeah, so basically, I never felt like I was brought up. I was still always under NXT contract. Somebody had got injured at the time, and they were looking for somebody to kind of fill in for a tag team. I live in Orlando. I was right there. Started doing some things. Did some stuff with Seth Rollins. And then it was just kind of like one of those things where it was like, this isn't really going to stay a thing, so we're trying to figure out how to do everything. And then it was like, Theory's still with NXT. So, I was able to go back there and do some things there with the Way, create a really good personality and kind of show that more, and then it kind of developed over. But I think, everything happens for a reason, and I think I really got on the main roster 6 months ago. I don't ever think I was on the main roster, because at the same time I was at the Performance Center, and it didn't really feel like the main roster. Like, it was just different days, different people.
So much has happened in the last 6 months, I almost forgot to ask about the Way. And I mean, that was such an integral thing. I mean, Johnny takes great pride in the Way. And when I had talked to him about leaving WWE, he said, I wanted to make sure that when I left, I helped multiple people for when I left, like whether that be helping them advance themselves in their career, putting them over, anything. Maybe talk a little bit about what Johnny did for you personally.
Yeah, so I remember the idea for me was just to be a bodyguard behind Johnny Gargano. And same thing for Indy, just be a bodyguard behind Candice and lead them to victory and them help us along the way. But it kind of turned into this like natural family vibe where I was like the goofy son and Johnny's the dad, and then Candice is like the angry mom, and Indy's like the romantic sister that's in love with Dexter. Just the whole story is really cool, but it helped me bring out my personality, because I had this idea of like, I don't want to be a serious guy. I want to show more of my goofy side of what I am, normally, like, because in the everyday world for me, I'm not super serious. I just like to have a good time, a nice vibe, and that's just kind of what that character showed. And then I think some top execs at Raw noticed that and seen the personality, and then just an easy transition. And you fine tune some things and get rocking and rolling and beat the crap out of Pat McAfee at WrestleMania.
I love that the swerve of that wedding is that there was no swerve.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just that everything.
Well, that was the thing, is everybody, you got to expect the unexpected, right?
Yeah.
So
a lot of people, like when they win championships in WWE and wrestling, they get themselves like a replica of that title. Do you have a golden egg replica?
I don't have a golden egg.
You should.
Wow, that's so smart. I really should.
Yeah.
I mean, at least I can always say, like, yeah, you're the WWE champion, but I got $100 million egg I stole. Like, that's a title to me.
Yeah, it is. So as we film this, as I mentioned, Pat McAfee, we have seen like people act surprised that he's capable of these athletic things. Like he could still play in the NFL if he so chose. Like if he wanted to play tomorrow, somebody would sign him for next season. He left of his own volition. So I mean, he is athletic, but he's had one match. For you, as someone who is experienced, do you look at that as like a challenge? Because I mean, obviously there's trust there too. He's capable of things, but he's had one match.
Yeah, so I'd say this, all jokes aside, because, like, I don't like the guy at all. He doesn't like me. But here's the thing. He's got a resume. He's got a following. He's got talent. But is that enough for somebody that does this literally 4 times out of the week and I have 2 days off and I'm in the gym, and one of those days is traveling. I'm always on it, all day, every day. And this is a guy that you're telling me one time out of the year is going to step in the ring with somebody that is proclaimed the future of the WWE at 24 years old and the protege of Mr. McMahon. Pat, dude, as excited as he is and as pumped as he is, and he's got all of his childhood friends flying with him on his jet.
Oh boy.
They're all flying home sad because I'm going to beat the crap out of this guy. This guy literally is a commentator that takes his job to another level, stands on the table, is just trying to take away from everybody else, putting him in his place. And that's that.
Guys, it's Austin Theory. Check him out. Thank you so much for the time.
Appreciate you, dude. Thank you.
Till next time, we're out.
I have a theory for you. Actually, it's not a theory at all. It's proven. NordVPN.com/Fightful is the fastest VPN in the world. It works on all your devices, phone, desktop, laptop, PC, router, TV, all that good stuff. It's got that threat protection, block annoying pop-up ads, online trackers, malware. You don't want that on your computer. So what you want is NordVPN.com/Fightful. Watch your geo-restricted shows that you miss, or open yourself up to a whole new world by subscribing to services in other parts of the world when you change your virtual location with just one click. Thanks to NordVPN.com/Fightful. You can save some money on those services as well. And not only that, you're going to save some money on NordVPN.com/Fightful right now, because we're giving you a great deal. 30-day money-back guarantee offer plus 70% off and an additional month free. You can't beat that, my friends. You can get pay-per-views much less expensive, all kinds of good stuff with NordVPN.com/Fightful.